Welcome to Bills Nation Daily, your ultimate daily dose of everything Buffalo Bills. Hit that subscribe button and join the most passionate Bills fans as we break down all the latest news, highlights, and game analysis. Go Bills! The NFL world is buzzing today with a rumor that seems almost too shocking to believe. Yet sources close to the Bills organization suggest that Ed Oliver, the formidable interior defensive lineman, might be packing his bags sooner than anyone expected. Known for his explosive first step and uncanny ability to collapse pockets in the blink of an eye, Oliver has been a cornerstone of the Bills' defensive identity since being drafted. The whispers are growing louder, insiders hinting that contract negotiations might have hit an impasse, with both sides unable to reconcile expectations versus reality. Fans are already reacting on social media, some in disbelief, others in silent dread, as the thought of a Bills defense without Oliver at the heart of the line is almost unimaginable. The defensive schemes that rely heavily on Oliver's presence to free up linebackers and disrupt quarterback timing could face a seismic shift if this rumor materializes. Analysts are dissecting every past interview, every post-game comment, and even subtle social media interactions for hints that this departure could be imminent, painting a picture of uncertainty that has never before hovered so ominously over the Bills' inner sanctum. If he leaves, the ripple effects on draft strategy, free agency decisions, and defensive cohesion are bound to be monumental, shaking up plans meticulously crafted over years. As speculation mounts, insiders claim that the tension behind closed doors in Buffalo is palpable. Coaches reportedly have been forced to adjust meetings and defensive drills subtly, preparing for scenarios where Oliver's presence might be absent. Sources say the front office has explored several contingency plans, including scouting for defensive tackles who can replicate, even partially, Oliver's unique blend of speed, power, and intelligence. Meanwhile, the locker room is a theater of quiet murmurs, with teammates reportedly expressing both support and apprehension, understanding that losing a player of Oliver's caliber isn't just a personnel change, it's a cultural shift. Fans at local sports bars are already debating the implications, some speculating on potential trades or blockbuster signings, while others are recalling games where Oliver single-handedly turned the tide with bone-crushing tackles and relentless pressure. Sports podcasts have begun round-the-clock discussions, dissecting whether Oliver's departure, if it happens, signals a larger philosophical change in Buffalo's approach to defensive dominance. Every analyst seems to have a theory, ranging from financial disagreements to personal ambitions, and the lack of a clear statement from the team is fueling an almost cinematic tension that feels larger than football itself, turning speculation into a suspenseful narrative that captivates the entire NFL community. Industry insiders are hinting that Oliver's possible exit could coincide with broader shifts in the AFC East landscape. With divisional rivals constantly seeking an edge, losing a linchpin like Oliver might embolden opponents who have previously struggled against the Bills' front. Rumors are swirling that teams like the Patriots and Dolphins are already formulating contingency plans, with whispers of secret scouting reports and potential trade targets being prepared in anticipation of Buffalo's defensive vulnerability. Sources say Oliver has received discreet calls from multiple franchises, each trying to gauge his interest and evaluate how his skills could plug into their defensive schemes. Meanwhile, contract negotiations reportedly remain tense, with Oliver's camp allegedly demanding terms that the Bills' front office finds challenging, citing salary cap constraints and long-term roster flexibility. Analysts are dissecting the situation meticulously, projecting the impact on game plans, particularly in high-stakes divisional matchups where every sack, every quarterback hurry, and every run-stopping play could swing the balance. Social media amplifies the tension, with fans and commentators alike speculating wildly on what the loss would mean, painting dramatic what-if scenarios where Buffalo scrambles to fill a void that seems irreplaceable. Every day, the rumor grows, evolving into an almost narrative-driven thriller, as if the NFL universe collectively holds its breath, waiting for confirmation that one of the league's most disruptive interior linemen might really be on the move. The potential departure of Ed Oliver is stirring conversations far beyond Buffalo. League-wide, teams are recalibrating their assessments of divisional dynamics, while commentators are framing the rumor as a pivotal moment that could redefine defensive strategies across the conference. Coaches are said to be quietly evaluating depth charts, analyzing whether rotational players or new free agent acquisitions could absorb the pressure and production that Oliver brings every snap. Reports from training facilities suggest subtle but noticeable changes in practice intensity, hinting that the coaching staff is mentally preparing the team for scenarios where Oliver may no longer anchor the defensive front. Meanwhile, fan forums are flooded with passionate debate, with some supporters expressing heartbreak over the idea of losing a defensive titan, while others argue that the Bills could capitalize on draft capital or salary flexibility if Oliver departs. Sources hint at private meetings that could involve long-term vision discussions, weighing whether to retain an elite talent against the need for strategic roster management. The rumor, whether it materializes or not, has already set off a cascade of media coverage, with analysts painting dramatic narratives about a potential end of an era for Buffalo's defensive identity. Each passing day without a clear statement amplifies speculation, making the league feel like a suspenseful chessboard where every move carries massive implications. The very possibility of Oliver leaving has transformed into a storyline that transcends ordinary trade chatter, captivating fans and analysts alike with its high stakes and potential consequences for years to come. Reports are hinting at a deeper layer behind the potential departure, pointing toward internal disagreements and philosophical divergences between Oliver and the front office. Sources allege that Oliver, renowned for his relentless drive and high football IQ, may be seeking a larger role in defensive decision-making or a contract that reflects his perceived value in ways that management is hesitant to meet. Teammates are reportedly split between unwavering support and pragmatic concern, understanding that a disruption of this magnitude could impact not only defensive performance, but locker room morale and leadership structures. Rumors also suggest that rival teams have been quietly probing for intelligence, gauging whether Oliver might be open to joining schemes where his talents could be showcased differently or even enhanced. Analysts are speculating that his exit could catalyze a domino effect, altering player acquisition strategies, defensive alignments, and even coaching philosophies, particularly in a league where edge rushers and interior linemen are increasingly pivotal. The narrative is evolving with cinematic intensity, as if a sports drama were unfolding in real time, complete with unseen negotiations, strategic maneuvering, and a very real human element of ambition, loyalty, and career trajectory. Every subtle hint, every cryptic social media post, and every insider comment is being dissected, creating a story that feels larger than a simple trade rumor, highlighting the complex interplay of talent, business, and personal ambition that defines modern NFL dynamics. Amidst the swirling speculation, there are indications that Oliver's potential exit could influence future draft strategies for Buffalo. League insiders are already theorizing which defensive tackles, linebackers, or even hybrid defensive ends might fill the void if Oliver were to leave. The front office reportedly maintains a long list of prospects, carefully evaluating athleticism, versatility, and potential cultural fit within a locker room. Coaches are allegedly running mock scenarios, adjusting schemes, and imagining how defensive rotations could be reshaped in a post-Oliver era, a task that underscores the magnitude of his influence. Meanwhile, fans have taken to Twitter and Reddit, generating heated debates over whether the Bills should prioritize retaining Oliver at all costs or leverage the situation to amass draft capital and future flexibility. Analysts are crafting elaborate what-if scenarios for primetime broadcasts, discussing how a single personnel change could ripple across multiple games and even playoff projections. The narrative has transformed from a mere rumor into an ongoing saga, with every interaction, every insider leak, and every hypothetical strategy becoming fodder for storytelling that merges real-world football with the heightened drama of speculation. In short, Oliver's possible departure has created a multi-layered dialogue encompassing on-field strategy, business negotiations, locker room culture, and fan passion, turning the rumor into an irresistible narrative for anyone invested in the NFL. League observers are suggesting that the ripple effects of losing Ed Oliver could extend far beyond the immediate defensive front. There are whispers that rival teams are calculating how to exploit potential weaknesses, analyzing film to identify moments where Oliver's absence could be most damaging. Inside Buffalo, coaches are reportedly weighing adjustments to defensive play calling, emphasizing gap discipline, pass rush stunts, and rotational substitutions to compensate for the missing presence. Meanwhile, reports hint at a growing sense of urgency among younger players who see this potential departure as an opportunity to step up, assert themselves, and redefine the identity of the defensive line. Fans, caught between hope and dread, are consuming every rumor and leak, with some predicting a chain reaction that could influence the Bills' playoff trajectory and long-term competitive outlook. Analysts on radio shows and podcasts are framing the situation as a defining moment for the franchise, dissecting not only what losing Oliver means in technical football terms, but also how it could affect morale, leadership, and fan engagement. The story is spreading beyond Buffalo, capturing attention league-wide, with every update feeding a narrative of tension, anticipation, and the unpredictable drama that makes NFL rumors so intoxicating. In essence, Oliver's rumored exit has become a lens through which every aspect of Buffalo's football operations is being scrutinized, as fans and insiders alike grapple with the uncertainty of what might be lost and what could emerge in its place. Finally, the speculation surrounding Ed Oliver's future is evolving into a full-blown narrative that feels almost cinematic in scope. Rumors now include not just potential departures, but hints of trade packages, draft pick considerations, and even salary cap gymnastics that could redefine Buffalo's roster construction philosophy. Sports media outlets are running continuous coverage, each segment layered with historical context, comparisons to other marquee departures, and projections of how Oliver's skills could impact rival teams if he were to move. Social media is alive with mock debates, fan reactions, and viral clips of Oliver in his most dominant moments, as if the digital audience itself is participating in the drama. Insiders suggest that the coaching staff is in constant meetings, evaluating every contingency, while players are preparing for scenarios where the defensive alignment might shift drastically. Analysts speculate that losing Oliver could force a philosophical rethinking, prioritizing speed over brute strength or rotational depth over individual star power. Every facet of the organization, from medical staff to scouting departments, is reportedly preparing for a potential seismic change, highlighting the sheer influence of one player on an entire NFL ecosystem. The story has grown beyond a simple rumor. It's now a saga filled with tension, anticipation, and stakes that extend from practice fields in Buffalo to strategy rooms across the league, with Ed Oliver at the center of a narrative that continues to captivate fans, analysts, and insiders alike. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. Speculation is intensifying around the financial implications of Oliver's rumored exit, with sources suggesting that contract negotiations have been a major sticking point. Rumors hint that Oliver's camp may be seeking guarantees, incentives, or clauses that align with his perceived value as a game-changing interior lineman, while the front office is reportedly constrained by salary cap limitations, draft commitments, and long-term strategic considerations. Analysts are dissecting potential scenarios, weighing the cost-benefit of retaining an elite talent versus leveraging his value for assets that could address multiple positional needs. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, coaching staff and team executives are said to be conducting private meetings, exploring every conceivable combination of players, schemes, and rotations to maintain defensive potency. Fans are scrutinizing every hint, from social media posts to interviews, generating intricate theories about motivation, strategy, and potential outcomes, creating a digital rumor mill that mirrors the uncertainty on the practice field. Industry insiders suggest that rival teams are observing these dynamics closely, calculating their own strategic advantages in the event Oliver becomes available. The narrative has become a complex tapestry of finance, talent evaluation, strategy, and personality dynamics, creating a story that reads like a high-stakes thriller, blending real-world consequences with dramatic tension that extends far beyond Buffalo's locker room. Each day adds layers of intrigue, speculation, and anticipation to a saga that shows no signs of slowing. Industry insiders hint that Oliver's rumored exit has sparked internal dialogue around leadership dynamics within the locker room. Sources indicate that the defensive line's emerging talents are suddenly under pressure to demonstrate not only physical skill, but also emotional and strategic leadership. Coaches are reportedly mentoring younger players more intensively, emphasizing accountability, communication, and situational awareness in anticipation of gaps left by Oliver's potential absence. Meanwhile, fans are speculating on which player might step into a central role, debating not only skill sets but also charisma, influence, and the ability to galvanize teammates under pressure. Rumors suggest that rival teams are monitoring these developments, analyzing whether a shift in Buffalo's internal hierarchy might create vulnerabilities that could be exploited in high-stakes divisional matchups. Analysts are framing the story as a test not only of personnel, but also of organizational culture, suggesting that Oliver's departure could redefine leadership norms, training philosophies, and even recruitment priorities. Every cryptic report, every insider comment, and every social media reaction adds narrative depth, creating a suspenseful, almost serialized storyline that combines football strategy with the human drama of ambition, loyalty, and the challenges of maintaining cohesion under uncertainty. The rumor has grown into a multifaceted story, capturing attention far beyond the traditional fan base, illustrating the intertwined nature of talent, leadership, and strategy in professional football. Financial and strategic speculation continues to dominate discussions, with sources suggesting that Buffalo's management is weighing trade possibilities, draft implications, and salary cap maneuvering in response to the Oliver rumors. Analysts speculate that retaining him could require a top-tier contract, while trading him might yield multiple assets that address depth needs across the roster, highlighting the tension between immediate performance and long-term strategy. Coaches are reportedly running detailed simulations, testing how rotational players could perform under elevated responsibilities and adjusting defensive playbooks to compensate for any potential loss. Fans are dissecting social media feeds, press conferences, and cryptic insider tweets, turning each fragment into a piece of the puzzle, fueling speculation, debate, and engagement that has become almost obsessive. Rumors hint that league rivals are quietly courting Oliver, presenting opportunities that could reshape the competitive balance in the AFC East, adding another layer of tension to what is already a dramatic scenario. The narrative has evolved into a real-time thriller, blending athletic, financial, and human dimensions, turning the saga into a compelling story that transcends traditional sports reporting. Each leak, speculation, and rumor feeds into a continuous, evolving drama that has captivated fans, analysts, and insiders alike, with Ed Oliver at the center of a storyline that seems to grow more intense by the hour. Finally, as the rumor mill reaches fever pitch, the possible departure of Ed Oliver is shaping into a story with multiple trajectories, each fraught with tension, strategic calculation, and emotional stakes. Sources indicate that internal discussions involve every layer of the organization, from front office executives to position coaches, as well as emerging talent in the defensive line. Analysts are creating detailed models of team performance in scenarios both with and without Oliver, evaluating sack rates, run-stopping metrics, and the impact on playoff projections. Fans are actively participating in the discourse, generating threads, polls, and speculative content, effectively transforming social media into a dynamic arena where theory meets passion. Rumors hint that rival teams are finalizing contingency plans to exploit any shifts in Buffalo's defensive identity, while insiders speculate on potential trade partners and draft strategies that could emerge if Oliver exits. The narrative now resembles a serialized drama, blending sports, business, and human ambition into a suspenseful saga that captures the imagination of the NFL community. Each day, without confirmation, heightens the suspense, making every report, every hint, and every analysis feel consequential, as the football world waits in rapt anticipation to see whether one of the league's most disruptive interior linemen will remain in Buffalo or embark on a new chapter, forever altering the defensive landscape. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.